What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, today it's going to be a little joppy video of me talking about stuff. I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about right now, but I think I'm going to try to simplify a lot of things that I've realized in my own life from my searches of knowledge. But guys, remember to always keep being yourself. For now, go and get that Dubu Black Cool. Low-key have to hiccup. There it is. Alright guys, but I think this video I like to talk about kind of like a simplification of life, I guess, because that's kind of a conclusion that I've found through like talking to people in the search of knowledge of such. And I think a simplification of life is that we learn a long time in a short time, but a long time because like we have to live it out. That like when our values change, then so does the person we exist as, that we have to survive. And that story can take you places. But one part of that story that I think that stays the same for everyone is that, you know, there's not a lot of talk about how like a lot of like the things that are set up in society, that they're probably set up in a way because people thought it was the best to kind of, you know, account for a lot of people and like the longevity of like giving people the best shot throughout time. And like these systems that are in place, like, you know, it's really easy to like hate on them and just like hate on them. But I think the importance of me just saying this idea is like when you're able to look at them and kind of think about why someone might have like made it set up like that, and then have thoughts about like, you know, why that why perspective is not the full picture. But just regardless about that, the why is, I think the why is really important nowadays to think about more than anything, because we're not living in a time that's like normal compared to how, you know, our parents have grown up through their lifetime and in their lifetimes. There's a lot of new technology going on. There's the AI, all that stuff being created, and we're just living in different times. So I think it's more important than anything right now to really understand like kind of like the art of being yourself in this world. And I feel like the biggest thing that a lot of people forget about is that if you kind of put into a picture that we live 3 lifetimes, the first lifetime you get thrown into is the time until you realize you're thrown into your first lifetime, which I heard from people's experiences is typically around the age of 30. A lot of people have enough life experience to really live life and be a version of themselves. But talking about like the next 2 lifetimes, I feel like those ones are more up to this decision of why. This decision of why am I thinking that I am in my like 3rd lifetime versus why am I thinking that I'm in my 2nd lifetime. So I guess, you know, me just yapping and stuff, I think the biggest like key to understand that stays the same throughout your whole like longevity of your life is that the voice inside your head stays the same. Shout out Richard, 92. He's actually 93 years old, but on my channel there's like a video about that. So he basically said that, answered the question that his voice does stay the same, but the main difference he feels like is that his voice became more happier. And like that is probably the weirdest part about this world, is that, you know, we're built to survive, but the voice in our head stops us from surviving in a way that allows us to enjoy life. And so, guys, I really think that if you think about why a lot more in your life, it might be difficult because it might introduce problems. But I feel like not giving up on that fight allows you to feel a certain way that you can't buy within yourself, within your mind, and you can really try to help out in moments that are really small or just in the communities you exist in. And so, with this talk and with this blah, 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 I think I'm going to cut this video short, and, we're going to be on the daily uploads. And I'm not sure who needed to hear this, but, I feel like whatever time you are in your life, it's not too late. I feel like I'm a really big believer that it's about how much time, it's not how much time you have, but it's how you use it. So, if that 30 number is a little scary, but being age 30, just remember I said you're not that much different than how you will be when you're age 30, because that voice does stay the same. So think about it, guys. And, I guess we should try to be like Richard and try to have that more happy voice in our head so we can really enjoy the wonders of what God created in this world. And so on that note, guys, I believe in you guys, and, keep making videos here and there. But this is just a little yap of a random talk that I just never knew I would just make. I had no idea. But this is my little yap, guys. Hey, I'll catch you later. Thank you for watching.